The sun was relentless that afternoon, baking the manicured lawns of Crestwood Estates into a haze of heat. I was just pulling into my driveway when a scream sliced through the air, not fear, but venom, pure and sharp. Through my truck's windshield, I saw her, Pamela Hartwell, the HOA's iron-fisted ruler, towering over my 78-year-old grandmother on her front porch. Groceries lay scattered across the walkway, oranges rolling into the grass. A milk carton split open. My abuela, her small frame pressed against the door, clutched her cane as Pamela's finger stabbed the air inches from her face. "You people don't belong here." Pamela's voice rang out, loud enough to turn heads down the street. "This is a decent neighborhood." My blood surged, that primal heat you feel when someone attacks the person who raised you, who hummed lullabies to you as a kid, who taught you what it means to stand tall. My grandmother, Rosa Delgado, had been my rock since my parents passed when I was 8. She'd worked 3 jobs to get me through school, wept with pride when I earned my Navy SEAL trident. That trident was pinned to the dress uniform I wore now, fresh from a memorial for a fallen teammate. I cut the engine and stepped out, my boots silent on the pavement. Pamela didn't see me. Neither did Rosa, her eyes fixed on the woman berating her. "I'm Lieutenant Commander Mateo Hawks Salazar, 12 years a SEAL, with scars for missions in places most folks can't pronounce. I'd bought this house in Crestwood to give Rosa a safe place near her doctors. She'd only moved in 2 days ago, her boxes still unpacked. Pamela, with her platinum hair and pristine tennis whites, hadn't bothered to meet the elderly Latina woman struggling with her groceries. She'd just seen someone who didn't fit her polished VY gown of Crestwood and pounced. She was about to learn she'd picked the wrong fight. I moved quietly, a habit from years where silence meant survival. Pamela, iPad in hand, was mid-rant, documenting what she called another violation. "I've called security," she snapped at Rosa. "They'll drag you out. We don't let maids live in the homes they clean." Rosa, who'd taught literature at a university for 30 years, tried to explain. "I'm a homeowner's family. My grandson don't lie to me." Pamela cut her off, stepping closer. "I know the owner. He's a military man, not some." "Not some what, ma'am?" My voice was calm, but it carried the edge my team knows means business. Pamela spun around, nearly dropping her iPad. Her eyes widened, taking in my uniform, the combat ribbons across my chest, my face set in what my squad calls my mission face. I stepped closer. "Lieutenant Commander Mateo Salazar, homeowner of 1847 Crestwood Drive. This," I moved past her to help Rosa, "is Professor Rosa Delgado, my grandmother and resident of my home." I knelt to gather the spilled groceries, keeping my eyes on Pamela. "Care to explain why you're harassing an elderly woman on my property?" Her face was a spectacle shock, then embarrassment, then a quick pivot to defiance. "I'm Pamela Hartwell, HOA president," she said chin high. "I was enforcing community standards." This woman refused to identify herself. Rosa's hand touched my shoulder, trembling. "Mateo, it's just a misunderstanding." But I saw the fear in her eyes, the same look I'd seen in VY lodges where bullies wielded power like a club. "This was no misunderstanding. Mrs. Hartwell," I said, standing to my full height, "my grandmother has a key because she lives here. She was coming home, not attempting entry." "She doesn't answer to you." Pamela bristled. "The HOA has authority to—" "The HOA has no right to racially profile residents." I cut in, pulling out my phone. "Now, repeat what you said about you people. I like it on record." Her face paled. "I never that's not. It's exactly what you said," came a new voice. Mr. Lynn, my soft-spoken neighbor, stepped from his driveway. "And it's not the first time. Last month, she told my wife our ethnic cooking was tanking property values." Pamela's eyes darted between us. "That's ridiculous. I only mentioned odors. You said ethnic food and cultural habits," Mr. Lynn said, unflinching. "My wife recorded it after your second warning. I hadn't known this. I've been gone too much," barely nodding to neighbors. But now I saw it. Pamela's attack on Rosa was part of a pattern. "Mrs. Hartwell," I said, my voice dropping to the tone that makes my team snap to attention, I've faced enemies with more respect for dignity than you've shown my grandmother. Leave our property. Now." Her smile was forced, fake as her concern. "There's been a misunderstanding. I was protecting the property while you were away." "I'm right here," I said. "And there's no misunderstanding about what you said." By now, neighbors were watching, drawn by the commotion. Pamela tried again. "Lieutenant Commander, thank you for your service. Surely we can resolve this." But another voice cut through. "I heard what you said, Pamela." It was Councilman Daniel Brooks, my old SEAL commander, now retired and levying down the street. He fixed her with a stare that could stop a charging enemy. "Return home. Let the lieutenant commander settle his grandmother." The security guard, a kid named Josh, arrived, looking mortified. "Mrs. Hartwell, is this woman—" "This is my grandmother," I said. "She lives here." Josh hesitated, then asked Rosa for ID. Before I could protest, Rosa straightened, her voice steady. "Young man, I've lived 78 years. I have a license, a passport, a professor's ID. But I shouldn't need papers to enter my family's home in a country my grandson fights for." Her words landed like a grenade, silencing everyone. Josh mumbled an apology. Pamela, cornered, hissed, "This isn't over," and stormed off. But it was over. That night, I met with neighbors who'd suffered under Pamela's reign. The Kims, fined for their Lunar New Year lanterns while Christmas lights got praise. The Patels, denied a basketball hoop for their kids. Councilman Brooks confirmed the pattern. Pamela's husband, a hotshot lawyer, backed her with legal threats, keeping residents quiet. Rosa, listening, said softly, "Bullies thrive when good people stay silent. Who'll speak first?" The next day, I called an emergency HOA meeting. Pamela was out of town, but the VYC president, a jittery guy named Carl, agreed to hear us. I'd spent the night studying bylaws and state laws, gathering statements from neighbors. Brooks joined me, along with 5 residents ready to talk. In the boardroom, we laid it out. Pamela's selective enforcement targeted people of color, violating the Fair Housing Act. I slid a folder across the table. "Here's the EVY Denke, plus a complaint ready for HUD." Carl squirmed. "Pamela's led for 8 years. She means well." "For which residents?" Brooks asked. The room went quiet. I listed our demands: Pamela's resignation, apologies to VY Tims, and new rules to stop discrimination. Carl balked, but Brooks leaned in. "If you refuse, Mateo files with HUD. I take this to the city council. My wife, a news producer, runs a story on your HOA's bias." The board caved. By nightfall, Pamela was out, a diversity committee was formed, and apologies were issued. Crestwood changed fast. Rosa joined the diversity committee, turning our porch into a hub for stories and laughter. The Kim's lanterns lit up the street. The Patels got their hoop, their son organizing neighborhood games. A community garden bloomed with plants from every culture. 6 months later, Crestwood won a county award for inclusion. Rosa, holding the plaque, smiled. "This is your win too, Mateo. Some battles need courage, not guns." That day on the porch could have been just another ugly moment. Instead, it sparked a revolution. Pamela's house sold to a young couple, welcomed with a potluck Rosa planned. The new sign at Crestwood's entrance read, "All who enter are welcome," in English and Spanish. Pamela would have despised it. Good. What do you think? Was Pamela just a product of her environment, or was she the problem? Should Mateo have gone easier on her, given her community role? How far would you go to protect your family from someone like her? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe if you got more stories where this came from.